Hello. Woo! A sister is tired. A sister is at home. Can y'all hear me? Let me get comfortable out this motherfucker. Got some shit to say. Can y'all hear me? Yes? No? Yes? Yes? No? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, because I got my headphones in. Sister eating a bologna sandwich. Figured, I was going to type some shit about this Straight Outta Compton, but I just decided that I'm going to talk to you motherfuckers about it. All right. Let's wait till a lot of folks get in here. How's everybody doing? Where y'all checking in from? You know the drills. My weekly Periscope chat. It's not on Wednesday. It's on Tuesday. But you know what? You just got to stay alert. You got to stay woke. That's how you catch my Periscope chats. Where y'all coming from? Philly, North Carolina, Tucson, Arizona in the house, New Jersey, Houston, Queens, stand up, San Jose, Atlanta, by the way, of Memphis. That's awesome. Los Angeles, Chi-Town in the house. Compton is in the building. I am here for Halifax, Boston, Cleveland, Shreveport. Y'all all over the place, right? How y'all doing? Tuscaloosa? How you doing? St. Louis. Yes. I'm going to be in St. Louis a couple of months. I'm speaking down there. I'm very excited. It's my first time visiting St. Louis, Missouri. Okay, so you guys are from all over the place. Awesome. So you guys know how this works. Well, some of you do. If it's your first time coming to a Periscope chat with me, I talk about various topics. I give my opinion. I speak my mind. I engage with you guys. Somebody's asking, what is this? I'm going to block that person because I don't feel like explaining. So, I went to see Straight Outta Compton. If y'all see anything at my teeth, it's because I'm eating a goddamn bologna sandwich and you're going to deal with that. Okay. I'm just saying, you're going to ask me what is this. Fuck you think it says D's nuts. That's right. Okay. So, yes, Straight Outta Compton was a great movie. I'm just going to put it out there. What? I don't even understand what's going on. Nah, I didn't even get to cook the bologna, man. Listen, I don't have time. So, Straight Outta Compton was a great movie. I'm just going to put that out there. Anybody who says it was a bad movie probably isn't into much cinema or film or whatever. And I'm using my phone. I usually use my tablet, which usually gives a wider view, but I'm using my phone right now. Okay. Straight Outta Compton was a great movie. F. Gary Gray continues to grow as a director. I don't always like all of his stuff, but I think for the most part, he's pretty good at what he does. I should have taken the sandwich into the movie like a G. I took shrimp and crab cakes into the movie. Thank you very much. Don't question my thug life, okay? I'm not spending my money to see it. I actually got a free ticket, so that's why I was able to go see it. I wasn't going to spend my money on it either. Did anybody read that article in Gawker by D. Barnes? It's very eye-opening. If you haven't, Google Gawker and D. Barnes, D-E-E, last name Barnes. You might want to read it. You'll think twice before giving your money, too. So I saw the movie, and so first of all, let me give my thoughts on N.W.A. And before I give my thoughts on N.W.A, I have to remind you all that I don't debate music opinions, particularly rapidy rap opinions. If you are an N.W.A stan, shut the fuck up. Not at all interested in anything you have to say right now. I'm just not. I'm not. And I will disclose, I am a New Yorker. I was born in 1979 in Queens, New York. My introduction to hip-hop came from Queens rappers and Queens hip-hop artists. I grew up with folks like Salt and Pepper and Kid and Play and Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul. That's where my, Queen Latifah and all those folks, that's where my hip-hop foundation started. I am a child of hip-hop culture. I write about hip-hop. I lecture about hip-hop. I'm not some newbie or novice. I hate when people approach me rather patronizingly, trying to teach me about hip-hop because they assume that women don't know much about it, or they forget that I'm older than most of you, so shut the fuck up. So I've given that I have to give you that background. I grew up at a time when Public Enemy was popular, where the movement was really moving towards. I got all kind of shit. I got makeup on. God damn it. Where the movement was really moving towards recovering Black consciousness. You had the fucking self-destruction and all in the same gang. I remember that from the West Coast. We had all this stuff going on, right? People were wearing Africa medallions. It was divesting from South Africa. We were really, 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 really on another level. So when N.W.A. came out, a lot of us were like, okay, who? Right? And we weren't from Texas. We weren't from California. We didn't know what was going on over there. We didn't know what was happening in Atlanta in the South. We knew a little bit about 2 Live Crew, of course, because, they went all the way to the Supreme Court. We knew about the Miami-based sound. We knew a bit about that. But we didn't really know much about what was going on in the West Coast. And N.W.A. and other artists, they really kind of opened our eyes to this whole Compton thing, right? Because we knew about gangs, we knew about the old school gangs, but we didn't realize that shit was really still happening, and that we didn't know much about how bad the LAPD was. We knew the NYPD was trash, but we really didn't know. So on that level, this was really enlightening to us. We were just like, wow, oh wow. And then we started learning about a lot of these other underground groups that we hadn't heard of. And we're just like, wow, okay, this is hip hop. This is representing the street. This is the voice of the people. This is really what's going on. But over time, started kind of learning some things that, challenged the authenticity of N.W.A. And, at the time, authenticity in hip hop is that's all you have. It's your credibility, right? So people started really kind of questioning N.W.A.'s authenticity and started kind of digging up things on them and Dre and Cube and all this other stuff. And New York niggas was like, who the fuck are these puppets? Who are these clowns out here? There's some real ass gangsters out there. Who are these dudes, right? Folks was like, okay, Easy, you supposed to be the realest nigga out there, but you the one selling everybody else. What the hell is going on right now? He Cube, you a gangster and you was in private school, right? This is how we was thinking back then, right? He was like, this private school nigga talking about he gangbanging. No, you not, nigga. Your mama got you out the hood. Shut up. We was really on that level, what the fuck is this? And then, but it was okay, because it was fuck the police, right? Because we was all fuck the police, right? But you wasn't Straight Outta Compton, nigga. Shut up. You was from outside, right? You wasn't quite from. So that's kind of how we was looking at it, and we, whatever. And as we got older, we started thinking about, all the controversy, right? And I'm gonna use the Hotep word, right? Deflection. It was a distraction, and N.W.A. was a distraction from the pro-black consciousness that was happening in hip-hop music, and the white man used them as puppets to try to destroy hip-hop culture. Yes, that's what the fuck happened. Know your history, folks. We still like them niggas, though. That 8-ball shit, it goes hard. Easy couldn't rap worth a goddamn, but he went hard on that. So, that's just kind of my opinion on, N.W.A., right? And then, Dre beating any woman that came in his fucking face. I mean, the nigga had issues, right? The nigga had issues. Couldn't meet a woman that he couldn't slap the shit out of. And we all knew this, right? Am I the only one who thought that Beats by Dre was a double fucking entendre? Intentional? Because the nigga can't stop beating people. We know this shit, right? Did y'all see that behind the music shit? Did y'all see them interviewing Nicole? She looked like one of the scaredest women on the fucking planet, okay? Go back and watch that shit. Watch that behind the music shit and watch Nicole's body language when she's talking about N.W.A. and Andre and her relationship with that nigga. Watch her body language. She looked like the nigga sitting off to the side ready to choke the shit out of her. And I'm not even trying to joke about that shit. It's real. Y'all know how I am about domestic violence. Dr. Dre ain't shit. Ice Cube, huge homophobe, right? But I mean, who the fuck wasn't? It's hip hop. Everybody hated gay people. It was all about, you know, masculinity and braggadocio, and you disrespect dudes by calling them women or calling them gays or using the F word or whatever. I mean, fucking Drake and Meek Mill, you know, they still doing that shit, so that shit ain't going nowhere, right? Ren did a lot of the writing, particularly on the second album, but just, I think, charismatically, like, if you listen to the first album, Straight Outta Compton, to me, he's like the prize. Like, he doesn't really add much to it. And I know that he was kind of upset that there wasn't more about him in the story, and I think it's more to do with the fact that his personality never read. Who is this? Your fro ain't even popping. Oh, block you. Nigga, I worked how many hours today? And I had 4 meetings today, and he's talking about my afro? Like, you niggas were raised by savages. Like, fuck you. Anyway, so Ren's personality didn't really stand out, in my opinion, in a way that would garner that kind of attention. Eazy-E had more personality out of his little 5'5" self than we seen from like half the fucking entire West Coast. I mean, couldn't rap, couldn't write rhymes, but he was charismatic, right? So that was important. And Dre, of course, was a great producer. But they really washed over that world-class Wrecking Crew thing a little bit. I would have liked to see a little bit more of us understanding that he was a sucker. No, the man couldn't rap. He couldn't rap. He had to be guided along. And I'm glad that they talked about that in the movie. Like, there is a scene. There's a lot of fucking spoiler alerts in this. Why are you watching my Periscope on the movie if you don't want spoiler alerts? There was a scene where, they're showing that Eazy couldn't rap and that he had no flow, no cadence, nothing. And they really had to coach him and kind of work with him and everything like that. And Cube wrote all their rhymes pretty much. Dre and Eazy's rhymes was all written by Cube. MC Ren also got writing credits on that. But yeah, Eazy had a distinctive voice. He had the charisma. And he owned the record label. So he got to do what the fuck he wanted. So you had that part, and Cube's son wasn't that great of an actor. I agree, he was not, but he looks just like his father, and he has his father's, presence and everything like that, but Ice Cube isn't that great of an actor either, so, I mean, the apple didn't fall far from the tree, so, I mean, what were we expecting? Now, the dude who played, Eazy, what was his name? Jason Mitchell? Never heard of him before. I think he's only done one other movie. Phenomenal. Oh my God. We're talking Derek Luke and Antoine Fisher. We're talking, what's the nigga with the big teeth? The nigga from Fruitvale with the big teeth. The Flash nigga. What's his name? Yeah, you know who the fuck I'm talking about. The nigga with the big teeth. Johnny Storm. That nigga. When he was in Fruitvale. We're talking that level of, yes, Michael B. Jordan. I knew his name was Michael Jordan. So, I just wanted to be sure. So, we're talking that caliber kind of breakthrough performance kind of shit. And I was really, I was just sitting there totally mesmerized by this guy. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic. So, if you're looking for a movie that's, like, really well done, I mean, it was well shot. I mean, F. Gary Gray, his connection to Los Angeles and this Compton life and this whole kind of thing, he really nailed it. And I think if you want to read Ava DuVernay's tweets on this, she was talking about it as a Compton girl herself and just how he captured it. And you don't have to be from Compton to realize that F. Gary Gray really got it. So let's talk about some of the other issues in the movie, right? Everybody's talking about the misogyny, right? Okay. Brief hip-hop lesson. If you don't know, 2 Live Crew from Florida, they had this Miami-based sound that was really popular in the 80s. They got to the Supreme Court. Did you read the D. Barnes story? I guess you're kind of late. We already talked about that. Welcome. Um, so, 2 Live Crew came from there. And if you know anything about their music, it's all stripper music, right? You really, how you get mad at stripper music? Like, they make the music, excuse me, for strippers to shake their ass. And of course, it's, sexual, misogynistic, it's whatever. It's what gets the niggas spending their money. It's what gets the girls shaking their ass and getting cash. That's the money they made. I mean, that's the music they made for the people that was in this game, right? We understood that for what it was. It didn't really move much out of that area until these niggas went to the Supreme Court with their shit, and they won the right for them to say all this nasty shit that they wanted to say about women. Freedom of speech, protected, right? And this really helped hip hop. Now, the irony of this is that it took defending your right to degrade women to open the doors for free speech, not just in hip hop culture and hip hop music, but across the board. And I want you to go and I want you to read up more about the explicit lyrics warning label. I want you to read up more. I'm not going to give it to you. You got to go and research and understand what really came out of that whole thing. So the irony we're working with right now is that men won the right for free speech in music by saying and defending their right to degrade women. Only in America. Right? So, with that precedent, all of this shit changed. And N.W.A. came with we can say what the fuck we want. Manufactured group. Puppet strings by a white dude. We can say what we want. We making some connections here, folks? So if you're a woman, a black woman particularly, or a Latina woman, because they hated fucking Latina women too. If you're a woman of color, and you love hip-hop culture, and you grew up in this time, it was very conflicting. But here's the difference between then and now. Now, if you are a young woman who loves hip-hop and rap music, you really don't have many alternatives to tell you that you're okay. When I was growing up, I would hear a 2 Live Crew or an N.W.A. or a Slick Rick. Let's not forget Slick Rick with fucking The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. One of the worst fucking misogynistic albums in the fucking history of music. But yet, one of the greatest storytellers ever to be recorded in hip-hop culture. You got Slick Rick, you got Ghostface Killer, maybe G-Rap, another horrible person. But, Great Adventures of Slick Rick, one of the worst albums ever made. So it's not like you didn't have misogyny in hip-hop before. But they were fringe. They were, play it while your parents are not listening, over there. You weren't hearing this shit when you turned on the radios like that. You were not hearing Treat Her Like a Prostitute when you turned on the radio. So here come 2 Live Crew, here come N.W.A., and they basically make it okay to put this shit on the mainstream. And yeah, I'm just going to say it. They fucking changed the course of hip-hop culture, indefinitely. And I would be okay with it if they weren't a fucking manufactured group. If the shit was authentic, I could be okay with it. But the fact that we can look back now and know that this shit was orchestrated and put together, and look at the effect that it had, right? So that's what I struggle with N.W.A., and that's why I don't get, I don't get all hype over them, because it just really, they really did change the course of hip-hop. And I'm not saying that as somebody who is biased from the East Coast. I told you all about that, but I do love hip-hop from everywhere. I love my Midwest folks. I love my Southern folks. I love Texas boys. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. But, because you love it so much, because you love something so much, you should criticize it, and you should be critical of it, right? So, the misogyny, right? I don't agree with people who are saying that F. Gary Gray skipped the misogyny. I think that shit was blatant. I think it was perfectly portrayed, and I just tweeted about it. I said, for one, most of the women in the movie were topless. Now, I don't have a total hand count, but there, maybe on one hand, you can count all the women that were fully clothed out of the scores of women that appear in the movie. Most of the women were topless, and they mostly were dark-skinned women. Second, if you look at the direction and the blocking, and I've actually directed a couple of plays, so I know a little bit about directing and a little bit about staging and blocking. He actually made these women look like ornaments and furniture. And that's it. They were background furniture and ornaments for this movie. Third, you barely heard women speaking in this movie. And I don't know if you've noticed that, if you've seen the movie, if you paid attention to the fact, it seems like women, the lines from women have to be less than 15% of the lines in the whole movie. So I think what F. Gary Gray, and I know him to be a very skilled director, and I think this was quite intentional. I think that was how he portrayed the misogyny. That was his way, in my opinion. At least I'm hoping so. I'm also somebody who can deconstruct Baby Boy by John Singleton as one of the most brilliant satirical movies ever. So, that's just how I see things. Yes, Dre's mother did have the most lines, but women barely spoke in this movie, which is absolutely and totally reflective of misogynistic hip-hop culture. The silencing of women in hip-hop culture, and the idea that women cannot be represent pretty much without some man being there to co-sign them or to introduce them is very, very... I talk about this. I have a couple of articles, and I talk about this a bit in one of my lectures. So if you haven't seen the movie, watch it like that. Watch that lens and see. And I talked about taking a drawing class where I learned about the power of negative space. Look at what F. Gary Gray does with the negative space in this regard, where basically how he has the women there, not speaking, topless, and ornaments, as a way of draping the misogyny across the whole thing. Okay? I think that's important. I think that was intentionally done. There was the colorism. I mean, obviously, the people's complaints about the colorism are legitimate. Part of it is because, Cube and Dre and all of them and Easy were colorists. They all preferred light-skinned women, so that's what they ended up with. So, if you want to be true to portraying those women as they were, cool. But the fact that they cast all these topless women and all of them are darker than paper bags, I was like, okay, this is a problem here. This is not cool, because these are the women that they were degrading in their songs, right? These hoes, these groupies, these bitches, these whatever. And you decide to make sure that at least 90 to 95% of them are dark-skinned women. That's a problem, F. Gary Gray. Casting, folks, it's terrible. So there's that. There's the whole thing with Cube and Easy and Jerry and stuff. I think that they touched on that in a way that I thought was was probably good enough. I loved that they introduced this idea of rap beefs and how they come about. They took us back to No Vaseline. No Vaseline is one of the most lethal diss tracks ever made. Totally homophobic, sexist shit. I mean, it's hard to stomach, but definitely one of the greatest diss tracks of all fucking time. And so they went there. They introduced Suge. I thought they gave Suge and Death Row too much. That's just me. I mean, I get how important he eventually became, particularly with Dre breaking off into doing his own thing. But I just thought that the focus on Suge was way too much. I feel like they could have developed some of the other aspects. They could have introduced at least one of the women groups and one of the female artists. Just something, a JJ Fad, a Yo-Yo. They talked about Michelet, but there was no Michelet portrayed. I just feel like Suge took up too much space. There was a little blurb with Tupac. He was in there looking like Eddie Kane Jr. They had Snoop in there. He was there for a little bit, you know, a couple of lines, showing kind of this. I think it was all part of showing Dre's transition. But they showed Dre getting, you know, arrested and things like that. They really, I don't know how much of his hand was in this movie, but they sanitized Dr. Dre. They sanitized Andre Young so much. Like, you don't even realize he was the asshole that he was. Like, Andre Young is a complete asshole. Still is to this fucking day. But it was so sanitized. It made him seem like this hapless dreamer who just trying to make it because he loves records so much. And he's just trying to make it up out the hood. And, you know, nigga. Nigga. Shut up. You know, they briefly talked about Misogyny, but they could have at least had a woman just appear just as an artist somewhere along the fucking, you know, headlines. So, you know, what else? Oh, it was great that Lynch Mob made it. Lynch Mob made the movie. That was pretty awesome. I didn't expect that. D.O.C. was in the movie, which I thought was really, was cool. Y'all really need to look up D.O.C. a bit more. What else? I'm trying to think of what else about this movie. Oh, and the whole Eazy-E dying thing, right? So I'm not laughing at him dying. I'm laughing at the actress that played Tamika and how she just kind of ran out the room when the doctor told him that he had a T-cell count of 14. And I don't think we saw her ass again. She just ran out. It was so abrupt. I was just like, what? Did she get tested? Do we know anything? We don't know anything. She just ran out. Right? You saw that shit. She just like, just ran out, right? You don't hear nothing else. We never heard about the first kid again. You know, they have the scene where Dre's baby mama is taking their daughter off somewhere. We don't ever hear from her again. You know, they had Yella looking like the world's biggest fucking simp. I mean, I guess he was a simp, but God, it was just terrible. The police scenes. Now, the police scenes were excellent. They really captured the racism, and I think at a time like this when we're talking about police brutality and things like that, they did touch on the Rodney King verdict a bit. They did talk about, you know, I think that he did a really great job of showing how young black men and women were abused by the police, just randomly being stopped and frisked and harassed and beat up and thrown against cars and all those kinds of things for no reason, just for standing there. And I think that that was a really important part of the culture. I think that showing Cube as the writer was very important. He's still one of the best lyricists out of, you know, hip hop culture, just period. So that was pretty awesome. And I mean, that's, you know, I don't know. What do you guys think? Those of you that saw it, what are some of your thoughts about Straight Outta Compton? I said simp. S-I-M-P. Oh, Jerry Heller. Wow, what do y'all think about Jerry? Yeah, it was produced by Ice Cube and Dre. I mean, it did sanitize them a lot. They were filled to the brim, and it was a long movie, I'm going to say that, for sure. But it didn't seem as long as it was. Like, it really was an entertaining movie. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and pretend it wasn't a good movie. I'm not going to bash it like that. I'm not going to say, you know, it was a trash movie. Oh, my God, it was terribly made. No, it was fantastically made. It was well written. It was Pretty well acted for the most part. O'Shea was in, but so was his dad, like I said. It was a really good movie. It was very, very long. I think it was very well paced. Yes, it was well paced. You read Jerry Heller's book? I haven't read Jerry Heller's book. Bothered by the misogyny and the colorism in the casting call. I think that if we were actually privy to most casting calls, we wouldn't pay to see any movie. Just gonna put it out there. And that's not to negate what happened here, for sure. But I think that I rely heavily on my actor friends and things like that who talk about this stuff a lot, and I see them going through this stuff a lot, and it's very clear to me that colorism, ageism, all kind of shit, is a huge factor in what happens. Now, I believe that Jerry hated the racism. Of course he was looking out for himself. He's a white man in America who found black people that could make him money. Where the fuck have we seen this before? Did we really think that he was going to act differently? One day I'm going to write about the Cohenization of hip-hop, and that's Liar Cohen. I call him Liar. I don't know, give a fuck how you pronounce his name, Leor, Liar. I call him Liar Cohen, who almost single-handedly destroyed hip-hop culture and is responsible for all these motherfucking white people that we see trying to do it. And for all this shit. All the shit that you hear now about how black women ain't shit, and I hate black women, and I don't ever fuck women, and I just want to put my dick in women, but I hate women, and women ain't nothing, and don't respect women, don't treat women, don't buy them nothing, don't do shit for them, they ain't worth it, fuck them, just go to the hotel lobby, just pour a drink on a bitch, just fuck her, let her put her out, fuck your man's bitch, fuck this woman, all of that shit, that comes from Liar Cohen. The demons like Liar Cohen, who came into hip-hop and worked from the inside out to destroy our people through the sound waves. Fuck Liar Cohen. Jerry said he would have let Easy kill Suge Knight. Who's worse, Jerry or Clive Davis? Clive Davis is a hood rat whisperer. So I don't know. I mean, if you think of every woman, pretty much every woman that Clive Davis made famous was a hood rat beforehand. Whitney Houston, Alicia Keys, Mariah Carey, all them fucking hood rats. So, they could just sing. So he helped hood rats get out by singing. So I don't know if he's that bad. It comes from these gold-digging tricks who gave women a bad name. I want you to type something else again so your name can pop up so I can fucking block you. Piece of shit. Gold-digging tricks. How you digging for gold when nigga got lint in their pockets? What the fuck we taking out? Your fucking gold-plated lint? Nigga, shut up. Ain't nobody digging for no goddamn gold. Niggas always want to talk about a gold-digging woman. Fucking go. Hate that shit. That's, and the shit thing about, Ice Cube. Ice Cube's one of my favorite rappers and one of the best lyricists, but his respect for women is minimal. And he has made that very clear. Oh, this is way better than Notorious. Notorious was trash. This is 10 times better than Notorious. But, Ice Cube, I retweeted the interview that he had with Angela Davis. I mean, he's a Hotep nigga. He feels that being black is being a black man, and that black men have all the problems, and black women, if we solve the black man's problems, that black women will be okay. He don't want to talk about, their role in the oppression of black women. So, fuck Ice Cube on every level, really, Disney motherfucker. Like, he does. Like, on some real shit. Like, fuck him. What'd you think of the Pac scene? Pac looked like Eddie Kane Jr. Whatever. I know you didn't say me. You said, there's gold diggers and groupies. Be real. Yes, nigga, I have groupies my goddamn self. You know how many niggas out here throwing shit at me trying to get up in my pussy? Trying to get my money? I know all the fuck about it. But we ain't just going to talk about women like that. And you ain't going to sit here and act like it's women giving them a bad name. Because if I told y'all all the niggas that throw their dick at me every fucking day, it would give all you niggas a bad name. But I ain't going to say that shit. Because I'm private with mine. We ain't going to get into no sexist shit here on my broadcast. That's not how this is going to work. You know how many fucking FJ groupies there are out there? Please. Fuck out of here. The Tupac scene wasn't necessary. I think they just did throw. I agree. They kind of just threw it in there. Too bad there's a double standard. Yep. There's a double fucking standard. And I bet if I take double dick, you niggas would shut the fuck up. Shut up. Anyway. What was I going to say? I was about to take a bite of my sandwich. Nigga got my pressure up. That's right. Tell him I'm not the one. Nigga interrupted my bologna sandwich. Talk about some goddamn groupies. Anyway, I think that when we talk about misogyny in hip-hop, right, I'm going to finish this bite. I'm going to read y'all what y'all saying. I'm from New York, son. From the Bronx. What you expect? Of course the accent's coming out. Y'all hold me down. I love it. By the way, you famous? My pussy famous. What's your opinion on the Gawker story? My opinion is that people speak their truths, and we have to respect them for what they are. I'm about to say some cool shit. What was I about to say before I was eating a sandwich? Before the nigga... No, I'm not summarizing the Gawker story. Go read it. Oh, so you can't respect my opinion? Nigga, I ain't gotta respect shit. Fuck you. Thoughts on D. Barnes? She's way nicer than me. We need a Tupac movie next. No, we don't. What else I gotta say? Tupac got enough movies. You niggas ain't see Poetic Justice. Woo. I saw Juice, nigga. Take Juice and Poetic Justice. You got Tupac right there. What's a 2LC? A 2LC movie? You respect my loud ass retarded opinion. You just called me retarded. That's ableist. Fuck you. Bye. Blocked. Thanks for your take, suggestions on this. Yeah, I try to give my opinion on stuff. I love film critique. I love watching movies. I am... Oh, a 2 Live Crew movie. I don't need a 2 Live Crew movie. I don't. I know what the fuck happened. I think that Luther Campbell's a really, really fascinating person. He's one of those people who you just don't know. Like, it seems like he's turned his shit around. It seems like he does good. It seems like he wants to, maybe kind of leave that in the past. And whenever people want to do that, you kind of respect that. People grow and things like that. But Luke is still eating off that shit. So it's kind of hard. Like, if you're not divesting your money from it and you still eating off of it, it's kind of whatever. Master Eye movie? What's that Master Eye movie? What are you talking about? A Lil' Kim movie. We don't need a Lil' Kim movie. No, we don't need that either. And I love Lil' Kim. I really do. We don't need another. We don't need a Lil' Kim movie. A Master P movie might be interesting, but I've seen I Got the Hookup, so. It's the next story in hip-hop that needs to be told on the big screen. That hasn't already been told. I would love to see a movie either about Salt and Pepper and like Kid and Play and Herbie Lovebug and all those, or I would like to just see one about native tongues. And for those of you that don't know native tongues, that's like the whole Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Queen Latifah, Moni Love, that whole crew. I would love to see something about them. Particularly, I saw the Tribe Called Quest documentary, so I feel like that would be kind of redundant. But a Salt and Pepper movie, even if it was like on Lifetime or something, right? I think that would be pretty awesome because I think that um, there's so much to be said about them and how they shape certain aspects of hip hop culture. Oh, I know what I was saying before. So listen, when I was coming up in hip hop, we had alternatives. If I heard somebody saying some shit to me in the era and it was just like, bitches ain't shit and you ain't this and you ain't that and you ain't never gonna be nothing and just fuck these hoes and I wanna fuck a bitch in the ass and pour liquor on her face and I'm gonna jizz in her face and all this, if you heard all of that, you could seek refuge elsewhere. Because when I grew up, hip hop was diverse. Right now, I don't know what the fuck is happening where every single song sounds exactly the same and every lyric is exactly the fucking same and they're all saying the same thing over the same exact fucking track. I don't know what's going on. It's not hip hop. I don't know what this shit is, but it's not hip hop. But when I was growing up, you had the humorous rap, you had the Kid and Plays, you had the Jeezy Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. You had the comic and the comedy rap that was like always really fun. You had the Fat Boys and things like that. You had the so-called message rap, right? The rap that was kind of like the public enemies and the conscious rap and kind of raising that awareness. You had the psychedelic kind of stuff. You had the De La Souls. You had the trippy kind of jazz stuff happening with native tongues and things like that. You had the boom bap. Right? You had the Big Daddy Kanes and the Rakims and all of that. You had the battle rappers going on and all that great fun stuff. You had the LL Cool J's with the romantic love and the Big Daddy Kane were romancing people. You had extreme diversity and you had women. You had the MC Lights, the Moni Loves, the Salt and Peppers, the Queen Latifahs. Then you had the Lil Kims, you had the Foxy Browns, you had the Rod Diggers. You had alternatives. There were other people that you could listen to, and it wasn't a constant stream of this nonsense. Today, you don't have alternatives, and it is so mainstream you can't escape it. I do not play the radio around my son because I cannot take the risk that I'm going to turn it on and he's going to hear this stuff. And if you switch it to another dial, it's going to be the same exact thing. So I think that that's one of the huge differences between the music back then and now. And yeah, people say, oh, well, there was misogynistic music back then. Yeah, there totally was. But it was not played at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the radio. And if you didn't like it, you could go to the store and find several other alternatives. You could hear a woman saying, no, you're not a hoe and a bitch. You're more than that. We are more than that. We can be anything that we want to be. You're beyond it. You don't have many alternatives to that now. So it's very different. It's total trash. And I'm not at all interested in people defending this crap that's out right now. You could talk about the underground, but that's not what the fuck we're talking about. We're talking about mainstream. Yes, the underground has always been there, even back then. I hate when you fucking patronizing bastards come to me and say, oh, well, you just need to look in the underground. You just need to listen to what's happening on the underground. You need to listen to this artist. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking about what you turn on the goddamn radio my 8-year-old son has to hear while you blasting your cheap-ass hoopty down the street, blasting this music so you can get women's attentions and they ain't looking at your fucking cross-eyed ass any goddamn way. That's what I'm talking about. The fucking goat singing nigga. What the fuck are you saying, nigga? Shut up. Y'all listen to this shit and give this shit. What the fuck is the future? Can we leave that nigga in the past, please? Send that nigga back to whatever time, because he ain't the goddamn future. Okay? He's not. It's trash. It's garbage. And if you like that shit, fuck you. I'm sorry. I have no respect for that shit at all. I don't listen to it. And I don't debate rap opinions. Okay? And I'm not exposing my kid to that shit. I want my kid to have a fucking future. Okay? So it's terrible. It's terrible. And I'm really I'm elitist on that shit. I don't care. It's my fucking broadcast. I say what the fuck I want. I'm elitist. And I'm not here for that shit. I'm really not. So I don't know what's happened to my beloved culture. Oh, I do. Liar Cohen. Jimmy Iovine. Niggas like that. White niggas like that. They came in and they decided that they were going to use the poverty of black men. They were going to dangle this money in front of them, and they were going to manipulate them like puppets to basically destroy our community from the inside out. When we created this culture and this music to uplift our community and to tell the world about our struggles, these white colonizing overseers came in and decided that they were going to use our pain and our struggle and our oppression and offer us a quick fix if we would just agree to destroy each other on wax. So, the artistry is gone. There's no artistry. There's nothing artistic about any of this shit that's being played. It's not. It's not. There's no creativity. Nobody's creating beats anymore. They're tapping their fingers on these machines. There's no talent. There's no skill. There's none of that shit. It's I got y'all looking up Liar Cohen. It's Lyor. I call him Liar. It's Lyor. Lyor. So, yeah, look him up. It's a fucking liar. The internet's ego death is all I've been playing. You know, Angel Hayes has this song, I think it's called Impossible or something like that. Great, great, great song by Angel Hayes. They really did a lot. So you should listen to that one. But again, underground, kind of not really mainstream stuff. Yeah, his friends are Russell Simmons and Jay-Z, and look at them niggas. Look at them niggas. How far removed are they from the hood? So, Kanye West, we ain't gonna talk about. He's a producer. We don't need to talk about Kanye. He's a producer, and that's all we're gonna ever acknowledge, really. I mean, Yeezus was a great album, but we're not gonna. Jay-Z's mom lives in my town. That's nice. She said, "Fuck Afropunk." I sold my Afropunk ticket just because I want to spend the Sunday chilling with my kid. I don't want to go. Who are the current artists that I like? Are you talking about hip hop? Because I don't think there's any real hip hop artists out right now. Not in the mainstream. If you're talking in general, I could name some folks. But yeah, it's garbage. It's garbage. I just said Angel Hayes is dope. Who else? Drawing a blank here. I curate my own playlist, so all the stuff that I listen to is stuff that I handpick, and a lot of it is older. So it's hard to say who I like now. Like, I listen to all this stuff. I try to give it, a listen, just so I can say I heard it. And then I turn it off because it's garbage. I don't like Fetty Wap. I don't like Future. I don't like any of these people. So, Kendrick sounds like he sucks helium before he hits the booth. I mean, I don't. I guess which I want me to say. Drake. Really? Somebody type that seriously. Drake. Schoolboy Q's last album was boring. J. Cole is boring. No, Kendrick is already sold out. He's already, you know how many white women he's done songs with? Get the fuck out of here. Kendrick is about that paper. But again, he's coming out of Compton. Same kind of situation. Like, they dangle this money in front of these kids that's just trying to make it and end up compromising their artistry because they hungry. And I don't blame them. I mean, they hungry. They want to eat. But, Kendrick, that he's working with Taylor Swift. Fuck him. Schoolboy Q, totally boring. I tried listening to that last album. It was boring. Drake is misogynistic, Drake is homophobic, and Drake is whack. So, I think that we were looking at this beef between him and Meek Mill because we ain't had shit else to do, but nobody really took either side seriously. Rhapsody's dope. I think Rhapsody's dope. Jadena's corny. Fuck is that? Nah, Jadena, have you seen that nigga? Have you seen that nigga? Oh my god, he's like the universal maestro. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god. Shut the fuck up. Go sit down. I'm sorry. Y'all asked for my opinion. Dress is antebellum. The nigga does look like he was an extra in Django. It does. You can't deny that shit. But I mean, he's coming from Janelle Monáe's camp, and I find her kind of anyway. So I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I saw her perform. She does a great live show, but just kind of listening to her albums just straight as they are, boring. Yeah, I've heard that Jadena's a misogynist too. He's also a colorist and shit. I mean, I just think she's I think she's probably a really nice person, and she cares about, Black Lives Matter and all this stuff like that. I just don't find her music all that great. I mean, she's not a stellar singer, but neither was Nina Simone and Mary J. Blige. I mean, neither one of them motherfuckers can sing, but they're great. I just think that Janelle, you don't really hear much soul in her songs. It's a lot of manufactured stuff going on there. But anyway, we kind of finished talking about the movie, right, Straight Outta Compton. And I just wanted to share my thoughts on that. And I thank you all so much for tuning in and for sharing with me. Nina can't sing. We're not going to sit here and act like Nina Simone could sing. Nina had a soulful voice, and Nina was effective with what she did. But technically, let's be real. And I love her to death. I actually saw her live. I think what might have been her very last United States performance before she passed away. But are you listening? Like she. I mean, I feel like you're saying everything I've been thinking. I mean, I thought we were keeping it real. Like, what? I thought we were keeping it real. Like, we're gonna lie now? Like, Janelle does yoga better than you. She really does, because I'm fat, and I don't fucking bend that way, so. Get off my areola. What the fuck was that? Like, what are you talking about? I had all these girls talking about, get off my areola. What the fuck is really on your areola? Who the fuck is getting that close to you? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. But I love it. I support her. She's a black girl doing what she wants to do. And she's making music and she's making money and she's entertaining and she's, like I said, she's got a great live show. But I don't have to enjoy it all the time. I like a couple of her songs. But, okay. Some people act like if you don't stand for somebody, if you're not, that you're against them. I'm not against her. Okay. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix couldn't sing worth a goddamn. Are you kidding? Ugh. But he was a genius. He was great. It's fantastic. Right? So, oh yeah, Erykah Badu. Okay, anyway, I'm going to end before. Because, I get a lot of people like, oh, you look like everybody. No, the fuck I don't. And stop saying that shit, please. Thank you very much. I know the woman that installed her fake locks, and the shit ain't been the same since. But whatever. I love y'all, though. So y'all have a good night, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see if I can save this and maybe put this on YouTube or cut it down or some shit. Oh. Well, I gotta do this. Okay, bye.